Hey there, Boots Owen here. This is a Volkswagen Sharan 2013 2-litre TDI with a CFFB engine. And I need your help, or maybe you can listen to what I'm going to say and tell me I'm a fool. I paid money for this car a couple of weeks ago, bought it on an eBay auction, knew it had an oil leak. I thought the oil leak might be coming from the rocker cover or the cam cover. So there should be a plastic hood up here. I can't tell if it was or not, but the oil definitely was at least up as high as this corner in here. The rest of it over there to the right was dry and all the front was dry, but that back corner was wet. So I've bought a new cover with a new gasket. I'll put that on. Because I bought the car and there's no evidence of the timing belt having been done, I'm starting on that. I knew when I picked it up that there was a lot of oil on this timing belt, and there clearly is, and there's a lot of oil dripped down to the sump. So like if it was spraying out in there, dripping out or coming out under pressure in there, it would run and just go everywhere. So that seems to be what's happened. Now it could be that they're okay. It could be that the crankshaft end seal has gone. Could be that, but I'm just looking at this belt and you can tell me what you think. That belt doesn't look half bad. It's oily. There's oil on all of these like those are bearings, those are pulleys with that's a big ball bearing in there. That's a service part, that's the tensioner. It doesn't actually look bad. I don't know that I care that that's got oil on it. I've driven this, so I bought this a couple of weeks ago, eBay auction, got a train 3 hours south and then went to drive it home, got 5 miles down the road. Just before the motorway, the glow plug light came on, which is the engine light for this car. With the glow plug light on, I thought better pull over, turned it off and on again, cleared the fault somehow, and I drove it solid 3 hours, 55 to 65 miles an hour up the motorway, basically without stop. I stopped once for a wee, but I drove for 2.5 hours straight and then another hour after that. So it hasn't blown up on me, but I don't know that having oil on a belt is a good idea. Just looking at it now though, when I did the Volkswagen Golf one a few years ago, it was a lot worse. The Volkswagen Golf one was all cracked and crusty and was probably 99,000 miles, hadn't been done in 15-16 years, because the service interval isn't based on time on those Golfs, it's only based on mileage, which I think is crazy. Here we are. So what I'm going to do anyways is clean it up. I've got a new belt kit with all the new pulleys and idlers and everything else. I'm going to get in there and as meticulously as I can clean all the oil off. I've got a new cap, rocker cover, if you call it a rocker cover, cam cover to put on with a new seal. I'll put that on, I'll do that properly. I had trouble with the injectors, getting the last one out. That'll be in another video. I need to do the seat on one of those, but they're separate issues. And the last thing, I'll show you this while I'm up here. Last time I've done this on the other Sharan, my old one that I still have, and the Volkswagen Golf, you've got an engine mount bracket that goes from here over to this. This is attached to the engine, that's the chassis. So you've got to take that off and you've got to support the engine. So I've got it supported on my homemade supports here. Pieces of timber resting on here, which I don't really see as being strong enough to be a jacking point, but it clearly is taking the load of the engine. They're headlight mounts, like, I don't know, but it seems to be okay right now. And ladder hooks, and these are all bed rails, and they're just held apart with a bolt. It's not even tight. Screws, it's all screwed together, and it's got a screw hook. You can't see it, but there's a hole in the metal work beneath, and there's a hook there that you can, so I've got a hook stopping, they won't slide forward, they won't go back because it's uphill. And then I can adjust it. It has to drop down, I think, an inch. Getting it back up's different, but in the past I've put a jack under it to rise it up. A jack under the sump, it's fine, it worked twice, but where I am, I might have to leave this for a few days. I don't really want it sitting on a jack, so I'd have to chock it and all that, whereas with this I could just leave it, and it's dead simple, and a couple of wedges and whatnot. But you tell me, like, I checked the MOT certs before I bought this car, and it definitely had an oil leak, but not excessive, as an advisory. 2 years ago, 2 MOTs ago, so that's a year and a half it's had this oil leak, probably on the same belt, and I think they were just driving it handy locally, and then they traded it in to the guy I bought it off, who was a motor trader and a nice guy, and I, you know, don't feel cheated or anything like that. I knew exactly what I was getting. Like I said then, going back to the start, there's no oil at the front. There's oil on that side of the alternator because of the belt, I reckon. There's oil all down the back, all on this side, the driver's side. Try and get in with the camera, maybe. So we're in, just, that's the front tire there on the driver's side. You can see, like, it's all dry in front, but as you go behind, everything is oily and wet. So I don't really mind oil because it's not good for the rubber wishbone bush there, but we'll see if that passes the MOT. I'll have to clean that up a bit. The sump has a kind of a sound deadening cover or something over it. That's covered in oil, so I'm gonna probably try and get that out. I think that bush, you can't really see it there, the bush that's in there, the rear engine bush, I think it's a bit grim, but like, it could be leaking everywhere, but I suspect that it isn't. If it was leaking everywhere, well, things don't leak everywhere. It could have more than one leak, but all this, like, gravity and direction of travel will pull the oil down into the back, so that's where I would expect to find it. So all this is coming out. Well, the belts will stay here, but all those pulleys and the hoses will stay here. That belt's, that's the auxiliary belt, it's coming off. I'm replacing that. Timing belt above, I'll get all that off. I don't know, could I steam clean that thing or get a new one? Maybe they're not that dear. Sump cover thing. I'm going to do the oil, I'm going to do all the filters and all that stuff as well. Back up on top. Once I've cleaned it all up, I'll be able to see, you know, in a few thousand miles maybe, or even in a few hundred, I'll keep an eye on it and see if I think there's a leak coming off it somewhere. But once it hits the belt, you see, it's going to spray everywhere. That's the issue. That's why it is everywhere in there, you know. And tell me what you think about this engine support dealie. It seems to do the job. I'm quite proud of it, coming up with what I've got. They were in the shed. I think I found those ladder jacks at various times on the street. They're different shapes and stuff. I think they've fallen, like, genuinely fallen off the tops of vans, probably driving around. Real simple. Those are two old bed frames I've been keeping for ages. They're kind of light duty. There is a bit of a belly on it, but you know, it's supporting it, and it's designed to support humans. And what would that engine weigh? A couple of 100 kilos maybe at the top end. So, you know, it's all okay. I think it'll be all right. The injector down there, it'll be in a different video. It was all covered in brown dust, which is a bit weird, but so basically the copper washer at the bottom of the injector was blowing out and the seat is gone. So I don't know, was it that it wasn't seated properly and then it blew out one side or what, but I'll have to do that. I'll have to reseat it somehow. I'm just taking bits off the engine as I go now. I'm kind of worried, actually, you'll tell me about this as well, that I haven't capped off very carefully all of the stuff on the diesel rail and all that, so I'm hoping no dust gets in there, but I'll deal with problems as they arise. I'm trying to be as tidy as I can, but clearly it's not a very tidy engine. It's a tidy car inside and out, but the actual engine is the fault on it. But equally, it drove for hours. So would you leave a wet timing belt? Like Ford something, Fiestas or something, Ford Focuses had a wet timing belt, like actually bathed in oil, which I think is, well, the world seems to think it's crazy, but you know, it is what it is. I don't know if I'll make a video about the timing belt replacement, because there's really good instructions, and I've made those videos before, and they're a lot of work when you're trying to concentrate. It's far easier to interrupt what I'm doing and talk to you for 10 minutes and get my head around something than keep coming back to torque specs and where was this and all that. You know, clip this onto that and disconnect that. Like, where's that meant to connect onto again? I've broken something as well here. If you can see, this piece of plastic is meant to be connected to this, and it's snapped off. And I really don't know why. It just must be brittle. So I'll drill some holes and put cable ties on that. It seems it's like a sump or something, or a drain out pot. It seems to be resting on something at the bottom. And I've got to do the coolant because I'm going to do the water pump. I've told you all my stories. Tell me yours in the comments below. Tell me what you think about this leak. Hoping that top will seal it, but would you mind driving on a wet belt? It's clearly like okay until it's not. That's how timing belts are. I have paid $17.75 for this car, 13 years old. I think it was really cheap. I think it should be worth twice that if this was sorted out. And the way I'm going to tackle it, it won't cost me that much to sort it. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you later.